Hey guys, in this video I want to focus on aggression in 6 max games online. In this particular hand I was dealt King 3 suited in the big blind. The player in the bottom was raising 36% of hands, so a really wide range of hands. So it's going to be very profitable to 3-bet and take it down pre-flop a lot of the time. Again, I'm dealt a suited king hand. It's folded it around to me. I knew the player in the big blind was a tight player, so a raise is going to get a fold a lot of the time. In this next hand I was dealt King Queen offsuit in the big blind, another very good hand. You want to play in 6 max, one player limps in. The small blind comes along, and this is a good spot to come in with a raise. You want to raise the pot, and obviously you don't want to allow weaker hands to see a check flop. You're not unhappy if you just get if you just win the dead money and take it down pre-flop, and you're also not unhappy if you get calls, because you would have them dominated a lot of the time. Okay, now I've showed a few hands to sort of demonstrate how being aggressive in 6 max is a very good strategy because it's profitable. Other points I wanted to mention in this video was the importance of thinking about pre-flop and post-flop aggressive strategies that you want to implement into your game. In terms of pre-flop, you want to think about 3-betting and 4-betting. In short-handed 6 max games, players, because the button comes around a lot quicker compared to full ring games, it means players are raising a lot more hands than what they would normally. So because they're playing a wider range of hands, 3-betting just becomes instantly profitable, because it's impossible for them to continue against, because you've shown aggression, unless of course they have a premium hand. So you especially want to be mindful of aggressive players, especially when they're in late position, raising a lot, either in the cutoff or the button. Quite often they're just going to have a mediocre hand that can't continue against the 3-bet. Furthermore, you want to look for spots where even at 25 no limit, which is the limit I mostly play, there's going to be spots where it's fairly obvious an aggressive player is playing back against a late position raiser and trying to take it down pre-flop with a 3-bet bluff. So there's definitely going to be opportunities where 4-bet bluffing is going to be profitable. So that's the main strategies you want to think about in terms of a pre-flop strategy. Obviously you want to consider what kind of hands you want to sort of add to your 3-bet and 4-bet value range hands, because you obviously want to have the weaker hands where the plan is just to take it down pre-flop. So hands where you've got blockers to premium hands, so if they've got an ace or a king in their hand, so ace suited hands, king suited hands, suited connectors can be good hands to re-raise with, simply because you've usually got decent equity even when you get called. So that takes care of pre-flop strategy. Post-flop, based on the same general principle, because players in 6 max are playing a wider range of hands, that simply means that on the flop they're not gonna have a strong hand very often. So you want to look for spots where even when you happen to miss the flop, it's very likely your opponent has also missed. So obviously it helps if you've got some outs and some equity to make the winning hand when you do attempt to bluff. But you just want to look for spots where you can be constantly adding to your chip stack by being aggressive.